ब्रह्मविद्वरं वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं त्वमेव Stop and start one hour. Continue. Well, it's okay. Leave it. Mike was not there. We are going to do again. They will have fun. Jayanti told about my glasses, but not. Okay. Hari Om. We will start again because there was not mic was not on. We will start with a prayer again. Hari Om. Om Samasta Jana Kalyane Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahmavidvaram Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsa Chanura Mardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum Tvameva Mata Cha Pitattvameva Tvameva Bandhusya Sakhattvameva Tvameva Vidya Dravidam Tvameva Tvameva Sarvam Mamadeva Deva Tvameva Sarvam Gurudeva Deva. Hari Om. We are doing the Panchadasi, 7th chapter, Trupti Dvipa Prakarana of Vidyaranya Swami. And now we are discussing about the Prarabdha Karma of a Jivan Mukta. The question was posed in terms of why should there be Prarabdha Karma for a Jivan Mukta? Or once you realize the Ajnanam that is caused for the birth cycle itself is gone, then there should not be any body, mind, intellect living. We should immediately go. But that's not true according to the Shastras. So even the only thing that karma that get destroyed is only a Sanchita Karma and the Agami Karma. That means the future, that karma that is not yet fructified, that only will get destroyed. But the action, that the karma that has been fructified, because the body, mind, intellect is born in this life already for him to realize. Therefore, the product of the body, mind, intellect are products of the Prarabdha Karma, and therefore it is already like an arrow shot, it's already been undergoing. Therefore, it will not stop until the body, mind, intellect drops naturally. Naturally means until the Prarabdha Karma is over. We're going to talk about what are the types of Prarabdha Karma later. So, but here, even the Jivan Mukta therefore enjoys the results of the action, whether it's a good or bad, in the attitude of whatever comes will come and whatever does not come will not come. So that is the attitude of a Jivan Mukta in facing the world. So it becomes like a prasadam. Prasadam means whatever is given, you accept it, whether it's a tasty or not tasty, whether it's a delicious or not delicious, because when you say it is a prasadam, if it is a fruit, you take it. If it is a flower, you take it. If it is even ash or a budhuti, you adore it as appropriate of the nature of the offering. So that attitude or reverential attitude is there for whatever you see, because it's coming from the Lord. So not only Lord is in the temple, everywhere is nothing but the Lord only, because He is all pervading. So actions are given by the results, which are laws of the action. Laws are governed by the author of those laws is the Lord Himself. Therefore, results are coming from Him. So He is called Karma Paladata. Even though I perform the action or results of the action are given by Him. The actions that are done in the past, which has already been done, therefore the results are coming and they cannot be stopped now. Even the Lord cannot stop it. So therefore I should have an attitude that it's coming anyway from the Lord. Therefore I should have the prasada buddhi attitude, and so whatever that comes, let it come. Whatever does not come will not come. There is nothing for me to be worried about, and therefore I accept it in the prasada buddhi attitude. So therefore this is mayatvam bhogasya buddhyasta upasamharan. So it is all only maya only. That means it is apparently real but not really real, because agama painoha. So it keeps coming. Whatever comes has to go. Jatasi dhruvo mrityu. Whatever has a birth has to have an end. So with that attitude, he is impervious. So dukkeshu anudvigdamanaha. He doesn't get upset by the sorrows that come. It can be cancer of the throat, or it can be a problem with the hand, like in Ramana Maharshi or Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, or anybody. They suffer just like anybody else. but they understand it is a suffering of the body, not by them. Body will have a problem, but I have no problem because I am not the body. I can use the body as appropriate as long as the body is there. If the body requires some repair, you take it to the proper garage station or hospital to get it repaired, because body is useful for exhausting the karma. So that should be attitude. So here in the next sloka, he is talking about the compared to the dream world, how one experiences with an understanding. In the same way, the Maya, he introduced the word Maya. Maya is also interpreted as the delusionary projection or illusion, just like in Indrajalam. So he is talking about now the Indrajalam and the Swapna example now in the 171 sloka. Swapnendra sadrusham achintya rachanatmakam drushtanashta jagat pasyam katham tatrānurajyati. So here is an attitude of a Jivan Mukta or a realized person. Attitude is being projected here. So Jagat Swapna Indra Jala Sadrusham. So here is two examples. One is Swapna, like a dream. What is a dream? Dream is, we say dream is not real. So why dream is not real? Because when I awaken to the waking state, I reckon, oh, that was only a dream. It was not really real, we say. So therefore, whatever I experience in the dream is only not real. That's my understanding of a waker, not a dreamer. For a dreamer, dream is not a dream. Well, in dream, he thinks it is real. So if there is a tiger that is chasing him, he will say, oh, this is only dream. He doesn't say he has to run to save himself. No, so dream, one who is sick in the dream has to go to dream hospital to get dream medicine, to get dream cured. All that will be as real as anything else in the waking state for a dreamer. So dream, for a dreamer, dream is not a dream, it is real. But if I have waken up, then I look at the whole experience, oh, that was only dream, that's not really real. So I don't have to go to hospital just because I was sick in the dream. Or I was a millionaire in the dream and I don't have to now go and spend money there because I don't have in the waking state. So all those experiences that are in the dream state are valid in the dream only. And even though I am sleeping in the pitch dark room in the waking state, but when I am dreaming, I may be in the bright sun in the forest and somewhere completely, and I may be hungry, I might have eaten full before I slept. At the same time, I may dream that I am suffering with hunger and so on and so forth, completely opposite to the waking state. So experiences contradict the experience in the waking state. Yet, each experience has only its validity in that state of reference. So Swapna is realized that it is only unreal. Suppose I have an experience or a jnanam in the dream itself that this is not really real, then what will be my attitude? Suppose in the dream, while I am dreaming and while I am looking at this tiger that is chasing me, then I know that it is not really real tiger, it's only my creation. Then I will enjoy the tamasha. I can do whatever I want with the tiger because I can create also there. So therefore, it doesn't become a reality once I know the truth. The truth cannot be known in the dream, while I am in dream, because for that I need to have an intellect to discriminate what is real and what's not real. If the intellect is available, then I won't be able to dream also. So in the dream I don't have the capacity to discriminate what is real and what's not real. Whereas in the contrary, waking state is also like that, but I have a capacity to discriminate because I can develop through proper the viveka, that on the vairagya, and through the proper training of the mind, I can develop a discriminative faculty. So no, while experiencing in the waking state, I am able to understand that it is not really real using my viveka. Viveka is a subtle intellect which can distinguish what is real and what is not real. Satyanvrata mithunikaranam. No, sorry. That which is what is the nitya anitya vastu vivekam. That's called the viveka. That which can distinguish what is that which is changing in the changeless state and that is which is really essentially is the required intellect or intelligence is required to face the problems. So even while facing the problems, I recognize that it is like a swapna. So swapnavatu sadrusham, it is like swapna. Or suppose you go to a magic show. A magic show, you know that what is being shown is not really real, but at the same time you enjoy it. So experience doesn't, knowing that it's not really real does not prevent you to experience that beauty. So you can experience the unreality, but at the same time enjoy that show, knowing very well it's not really real. That's called Indrajalam. So just like I experience the ups and downs, knowing very well it's not really real. So reality or unreality of the world does not prevent me from experiencing. That's what is the bottom line is. So a Jivan Mukta, knowing very well that's not really real, he can still enjoy the experience. Like Indrajalam. That's what is the example here. Swapne Indrajala Sadrusham Achincha Rachanatmakam. It's not only it's Indrajalam, it's only, but it's a wonderful Indrajalam. It means Achincha Rachanatmakam. It is really incomprehensible world is. So every minute is really revealing something that we don't know yet. So we know the past and future, every second we don't know what's going to happen. Just now our friend came from the US consulate, says he's always happy because he expected something. Essentially they are granting something that which we did not know. So whatever that comes, if I have, it is really wonder that whatever that's coming. So if you look at the world in that, what is going to come, ups and downs are also all wonder. Achincha Rachanatmakam. All the wonders will come. It becomes a drama watching. So drama of the world becomes, whether ups and downs. You know, drama is only, if everything will be happy, nobody wants to watch drama. So ups and downs have to be part of the drama only. But if I can stand apart and look at it and look at the beauty of the creation that's coming every minute revealing itself, then it becomes Achincha Rachanatmakam, and incomprehensible, essentially the magic that is really. So if the magic, you see sometimes people cut into halves and all that. So how can a person can be cut on the show? He will be arrested if somebody dies there. Obviously that's not real. At the same time you wonder what's really happening. If you know what's really happening, you may not enjoy it, but you enjoy, you know that it's not really real, but at the same time it's a magical, and therefore it is also Achincha Rachanatmakam. It's incomprehensible. Intellect cannot understand how exactly he is doing it. At the same time you enjoy the beauty. Same way, we don't know what's going to happen next because the intellect cannot comprehend what's going, because the world is so big. My action is only, but so many other people's actions are also going to dictate what's going to happen next, and that's a wonder itself. And if everything is considered as the Lord himself is revealing himself in so many varieties and names and forms. They are good, they are bad, all are beauty only. If I have that outlook in the life, then my vision of the life itself changes every minute, whether it's ups and downs, and that becomes a jnani. So therefore, this is Achincha Rachanatmakam Drushtanashtam Jagat Pasyen. So Drushtanashtam, so it's constantly, Drushtam is whatever that is seen is continuously changing. So it's a movie is moving continuously. Movie is not a stagnant movie. Things are happening without even knowing what's going to happen next. So that's a wonder of all wonders. Drushtanashtam, constantly changing. Pasyan Tatra, having recognized that, then it is Katham Anurajyati. So how can one get attached to it? It says a beauty, they enjoy it. That's why Lord Narayana's name starts with Vishwam. Vishwam means whole world is nothing but Narayana. So everything, Vishwam means what? Jagat. Jagat means that continuously changes. Jayate, Gacchate, iti Jagat. That which is continuously changing is Jagat. If it is stagnant, you don't call it Jagat. If it is stagnant, everybody will be frozen. Nothing, no beauty in life. So everything will be continuously changing, unexpectedly sometimes, and therefore beauty is just to face the whatever that comes into life with an attitude of this is only prasada buddhi, with an attitude of non-reacting and only acting, and that is what's essentially required in proper attitude in the action and the proper attitude in facing the world also. That's what essentially is giving an example of Indrajalam, and he's going to give more on that. Indrajalam is a creation, a magical creation of the world. So he's going to give more on the Swapnam, the dream example, and the Indrajalam example a lot more in the next few slokas. Swapnamaparotshena drushva pasyan swajagaram chintayed apramattan san san ubhavamadinam muhu. Together. Swapnamaparotshena drushva pasyan swajagaram chintayed apramattaha san ubhavamadinam muhu. So swapnam arotshena drushva. So swapnam, in one's own dream, or aparotshena. Aparotshena means immediately, directly. Drushva, if you're seeing it. Swajagaram pasyan. So, or the waking world one sees ubhauren apramattahasan, without the preconditions of this anudinam daily muhu, again chintayed, one should contemplate, and that becomes a sadhana. So here this is information from the point of jnani as well as from the point of sadhaka also. So every day sit down and analyze you on the waking world is not different from the dream world. When I am dreaming, I am going through ups and downs, and I don't have control on the dream, in the dream state, where I don't have the will to change it. Whatever I want, I had to face whatever the consequence of the dream itself. And whereas in the waking state, I have a will to change also to the degree that possible. So I have an actor, and Ishvara is doing something, but also he wants my help also. Therefore, when I am doing some action, then the results will also be given by the Ishvara. So there is an Ishvara Srishti and a Jiva Srishti together in the waking state. Whereas in the dream state, where the vasanas or oppressions and suppressions in the waking state are the powerful ones, so powerful that I do not have that much will, therefore I don't accumulate any papam or punyam. If I kill somebody in the dream, or if I make somebody a good action in the dream, I won't get either punyam or a papam, because there is no will to act. Whereas in the waking state, I am given a will to act in the present, because I have kartum sakyam, akartum sakyam, anaja kartum sakyam. Because every moment I have a choice to do, not to do it another way. So Lord is giving you some venue to perform an action in such a way that you can either progress or you can also go down also. That choice is yours, but that choice is given to you as a human being, because of the intellect is provided for you to grow, using the intellect to grow rapidly and realize. On the other hand, the animals don't have that choice. It is like a dream. They have to go the beaten path. Instinctively they act, and therefore they are not responsible. So a cow doesn't get any punyam by eating only grass, nor the tiger will get any sin by killing something, because that is its natural food. So instinctively they do, and they eat only what they need, not what they won't eat more than what they need. That's a law of nature. They don't have greediness. Only animals, human being has a greediness where he wants more than what he needs, and that becomes a greedy. So kama, krodha, lobha, moha, mada, matsaryas come only for the human being, because of his intellect trying to dictate, I want more, I want this, I want that, at the expense of even others also, and that becomes a problem. So but if I understand the truth of this is the beauty of the creation. I am only one part in the whole creation. Along with me, there is so much along with it, everything else, and that's a drama of life itself. Then every moment and everything becomes a wonderful creation. And that attitude has to be developed by sadhana. So swapnam, so one's own swapnam, aparotshena, immediately one has to recognize, and drushva pasyan, so analyzing that whole world is like a swapnam, like a dream world, and including in the waking state, swajagaram, chintaye, one has to contemplate on it. So anytime I get something that I am affecting in my mind, I'd say this is like a dream only. It will come, whatever comes has to go. because whatever that has a beginning has to have an end. End may be longer than compared to other, depending upon how long that effect is. So everything is because of my past actions only. I am experiencing this. So therefore, I have done in the past, thank God this is also getting over. That means what I have done something in the past, so the effects are now, I am getting, the accounts are getting cleared out faster. That's how, if my attitude is that, then my mind is not worried about what's going to happen and so on and so forth. Particularly as we get old, we say, who's going to take care of me? What say, that's not your responsibility. You are taken your care, that is there, some God's responsibility. If one you leave it, then whatever the body has to go through, whatever the body karma will go through, and he will take care of it. Ananyas chintayanto maye janah paryupasate tesham nityabhyuktanam yogatshemam maham. If you don't have any other worry other than thinking of me, then I take care of you completely. In what way he takes care of you, that is his problem, not your problem. So I want him to take it in this way, then you are dictating some result to him. No. Once I offer it, that is his problem. That's what essentially the marjalanya. Marjalanya means like a kitten surrendering to the mother, where once you surrender, it's responsibility of the mother to carry wherever it can. And the kitten doesn't do anything more. Whereas if you want to think that I can do, you have to hold on like a monkey. You have to hold on to his feet. Monkey mother doesn't do anything. It just jumps up and down this tree, that tree, but it becomes your responsibility to hold on to him all the time. But once I say, I don't have even capacity to hold on, I just give it to him because this is his only. Because everything is nothing but himself, including this body, mind, intellect, belongs to him. If I have that attitude, then he takes care of that, because ananyas chintayanto maye janah paryupasate. That's his guarantee, that tesham nityabhyuktanam yogatshemam yohamyaham. I take care of that. So one has to have a proper account of its attitude towards facing the world, and that therefore develop that attitude as a sadhana. And once you have reached the state of understanding, then automatically it comes to you, because you know that it's not really real. What's real is the whole universe itself, is the beauty of the creation, and all that alone is real. We'll do next sloka. So this is continuous in terms of the waking state and the dream state examples here. Chirantayoho sarvasamya anusandhaya jagare chirantayo sarvasamyam anusandhaya jagare satyatva buddhim samtyajya na anurajyati purvavatu. So tayoho, of these two, the waking state and the dream state, sarvasamyam, all are common points between the two. So it is, the waking world is nothing like a dream world only. In fact, in the Mandukya Upanishad, the statements for a waking state and the dream state are exactly parallel. It says essentially ekona vimsati mukha. In the dream state also you have 19 faces. That means you have 5 indriyas, jnanendriyas, 5 janmendriyas, and 5 panchabhutas. 5 plus 5 plus 15 plus 4, that is the ahankara, mind, buddhi, ahankara and chitta. Total 19 ways you interact with the world. For a dreamer, the world is outside to him. Only for a waker, it's all inside his mind. But for a dreamer also has his own mind, which is different from the waker. Waker's mind is pervading the whole dream world. But dreamer, as though entered into a small subject, and the world is different from him. The creator of the world is not him. Somebody else created this world, and there are hills and valleys and the mountains and all panchabhutas are there, and I am experiencing those panchabhutas with the 5 indriyas, karmendriyas and 5 gyanendriyas and my 5 sense organs, and there's the mind also, a little mind also with that. All that is exactly parallel to the waking state. So a dreamer, therefore, it is not a dream for a dreamer when in the dream. And therefore, chirantayoho. So the example of this the world and the one is essentially chiram anusandhaya. So one has to constantly contemplate. Anusandhana means constantly contemplating on it again and again. Anusandhana. Sandhanam itself is thinking about it. Anusandhana constantly contemplating on it, because that makes your mind not reactive to the things that come in the world. Hey, this is also like a dream. So enjoy like a dream world, and whatever comes, let it come. Whatever comes, it is going to go away anyway. So therefore, I don't get excited, worried about the sorrows that come, or excited about the pleasures that come. That's why a jnani dukkeshu anudvignamanaha doesn't get worried about the things that come. And Vita raga bhayakro, he doesn't have any ragam, vita ragam and raga dvesha and bhayam also. Because why should he be afraid of what? Because he surrendered himself to the Lord, it becomes a Lord's responsibility. So chiram anusandhaya, having contemplated for a long time, jagare in the waking experience, satyatva buddhim, the notion of the reality to the world goes away. Samtyajya, having rejected, purvavatu, as before, na anurajyate, is not getting enchanted by the world. So what's the difference between a jnani and a jnani or a sadhaka? I have to constantly keep thinking until this knowledge sinks in. What is that knowledge? This world is not really real, but apparently real. Apparently real can be enjoyed by apparent enjoyment. So I am not running away from the world. Whatever comes, enjoy it as the beauty of the creation itself, without investing that this is real, I want more, I want more, I want more. That longing mind, wanting mind, desiring mind becomes a bondage. If I enjoy whatever comes, it becomes a prasada buddhi. You don't ask prasad, I want some more prasadam. Then it means I am getting addicted to the prasadam only. It becomes a vasana. Whatever is given to you is a prasad. So you don't say, I am getting only a little bit, other fellow is getting more and more, and I am getting only less. This is sweet, yesterday prasadam was better than this prasadam. Then if you start comparing, that means you are giving a more reality than what is the plurality that comes to you. So therefore, I should have correct attitude. Reality is that which does not change. Since the whole world is changing, it cannot be real. It's not unreal also, because it's experience. Therefore, it is neither real nor unreal. That's what we call mithya. So satyatva buddhi means not really real. What is real is only unchanging. Unchanging is the one that is in this changing. There has to be substantive. In other words, if A plus B becomes C plus D, there has to be something changeless in the changing things. That changeless is what we call law of conservation of matter. That's what this chemistry student will learn. Here Krishna says this is changing, the world itself is changing. There has to be changeless entity in the changing world. That changeless entity has to be there when something is changing. If the ring is becoming into bangle, bangle is becoming into necklace, there has to be changeless entity when the ring becomes a bangle. And that is the substantive adhara that supports the ring and the bangle. That is, the gold itself is changeless in the changing things. Same way, the whole world is coming from that, and that is changeless, and that is essentially Ishvara, or that which comes from which is Brahman itself. So Satyatva Buddhi, the world that is changing is only the apparent, and apparent has to have a substantive which is the Adhara, which is Adhishthanam, and that is the Satyam. And that is to be understood, and therefore your understanding of the pleasures that you get will be really not much investment in this world of enjoyment. You therefore don't go after, because you don't depend on it for your happiness. Any dependence other than yourself for your happiness is a slavery. So this is Sarvam Paravasham Dukkham, Sarvam Atmavasham Sukham. Says this is what Manusmriti says. Says any dependence other than yourself will become a bondage. And that is because you become slave to that. If it comes, you are happy. If it doesn't come, you are miserable. And whatever you want that gives happiness, other fellow also wants it. Therefore, it will not come to everybody. So therefore, you get anger, kama, to krodha, krodha goes to lobha, all other problems come into picture. But if it comes, it comes. If it doesn't come, it comes. Also is okay, because you don't depend on that for your happiness. So Jnani also will enjoy, but he doesn't depend on it. If it comes, he enjoys. If it doesn't come, he doesn't cry. Therefore, that should be the attitude that comes provided. Satyatta buddhi. I do not give the reality to the world. I only give apparent reality. And therefore, I used to give reality and therefore I was going after. Now I am better educated. Therefore, I look at the world as though it is a drama of life that has to be beautifully enjoyed. Drama will be good only when there are ups and downs. Not the same thing will not be a real drama. So I enjoy the drama like a drama, but do not invest that is really real. I am only playing the roles. Roles is like I am playing a beggar role here. Next time I may be king role, but I am neither a beggar nor a king, but I am an actor who is playing these roles. So I am a mother or a father or a sister or say different roles I had to play. Roles I had to play beautifully as required, as the demand. At the same time, I am untouched by the role because I am an actor only playing the role. I can play beautifully as the roles demand, knowing very well I am not really suffering as a result of the role. Roles will have suffering, but I will not have suffering. That is, therefore, my attitude is na arujyati purvatu. Unlike before, I used to enjoy. Now I have an attitude of different attitude. So I am enjoying as though I am sakshi. I am only witnessing the whole drama as a witnessing, as a spectator. I am enjoying as though the drama is going on. So that's what he gives what should be attitude. I had to develop this constantly. So Siram means all the time you have to keep thinking so that the mind does not get into the grooves of the thinking that this is real, that is real, and so on and so forth. So let's do 174 now. Indrajalamidam dvaitam achincha. So this looks like the same statement here. Indrajalamidam dvaitam achincha rachanatmataha itya vismarato hanihi khava prarabdha bhogataha. Together. Indrajalamidam dvaitam achincha rachanatmataha itya vismarato hanihi khava prarabdha bhogataha. So idam dvaitam achincha ratanatmataha indrajalam iti. So this duality that I am seeing, or the plurality of the world, is nothing but Indrajalam. It's only a magic projection of the whole world. Indrajalam is like a Maya, or it is a Maya of the, that's why he is called, he is a Mayavi. The world, Lord is himself is called Leela Vibhuti. From the point of creation, it's a sport. Sport means the whole is like Indrajalam. So therefore, it is a wonderful sport also. Achintya rachanatmakam. So this is Dvaitam. All that is nothing but is a beautiful creation to only to stand apart and enjoy the drama. If I forget it, so asmarataha, one who has forgotten that, prarabdha bhogataha, experience due to the prarabdha becomes a miserable problem. So it'll say, oh, how am I suffering this, I am suffering that. If I give a reality to that, then reality as though to a paper tiger, I'm giving a reality as a real tiger, then I get worried only. So here I have to see that what is real, what is not real, what is apparently real, and all that has to be clearly understood, and not only understand at the intellectual level, but assimilated so that in my life I am not getting affected. So if I forget that, then I will be affected by that. Let's do next sloka. Nirbandhastatva vidyaya nirbandhastatva vidyaya indrajalatva samsrute indrajalatva samsrute prarabdasya bhoge jivasya sukha dukkhayoh. So tattva vidyayam. So having the knowledge of tattva means absolute reality. Indrajalatva samsrutehe, the memory of the unreality of the world. Samsruti is a memory. So on the Indrajalatva, whole world is nothing but unreal, but that knowledge has to be there all the time in the mind. So when I'm experiencing, I should be enjoying, hey, this is a beautiful creation, let me enjoy it because this is only apparent creation. Just like I'm enjoying the magic show. So when I'm enjoying magic show, I know it's a magic show. I know it's not real, but still I am enjoying it. That should be the attitude of enjoying the world, provided I am keeping that mind that this whole is nothing but a drama of life. That's called Indrajalam here. Tattva Vidyayaha Indrajalatva Samsrutehi. That memory is there all the time. Nirbandha, if you have that, essentially that if I have that memory, prarabdhasya, so the prarabdha karma says jivasya sukha-dukkhayoho bhoge, so agraha. So this, the sukham and dukkham of the world will not affect me if I have the memory or remembrance that whole thing is nothing but drama. So essentially I can be watching drama, because the life itself is a drama, and life is a wonderful drama, provided you can start standing back and enjoy the drama. If you get involved and then forget that you have an actor playing the role, and then forget that you think you're really a beggar, then you suffer. Because the beggar role is to suffer. If you think you are a king and start ordering everybody whatever you want because you think you are a king, then people put you in the hospital, because you are only acting like a king in that scene only, not real king. Same way, I am acting in this role here as a father, or the mother, or the husband, or the wife, or these are roles that I am playing in the life drama. These are only drama. So drama has to be played beautifully, otherwise people throw stones. So I have to play it beautifully, knowing very well it's a drama. But once in a way go to green room, know that this is only Vesham that I am Veshing, and I am real, my nature is I am really an actor, not of this role. That comes in the seat of meditation. Think that I am only that which is that aham, I am a pure existent consciousness, taking this Vesham, that of the Vesham of a Jiva, and that has to be recognized. So joys and sorrows of the world is essential for me to recognize that I am beyond the joys and sorrows also. So for that, knowledge of the reality of the world is required, and unreality of the world is also required. So I should know who I am. I should know that I am pure existent consciousness that is unaffected, asangaha, untouched by it. Therefore, Krishna says, Maya tadamidam sarvam jagad avyakta murtina, mastani sarva bhutani. All beings are in me. If all beings are in me, they are suffering, then I should also suffer. Because everything is in me only. If my hand is having a pain, then I am having a pain. But Krishna says very clearly, so all beings are in me. So, mastani sarva bhutani, nachaham teshu avastitaha. I am unaffected by their conditioning. Where they suffer, that I don't suffer, even though they are all in me. Why? It's like gold declaring the ring and the bangle and the necklace are in me. But the problems of the ring and the problems of the bangle and the problems of the ring belongs to the ring and the bangle and necklace only, not to me. Gold is unaffected, whether the ring gets distorted or distorted, and the gold is gold only. So therefore, I am asangaha, asangoham, punah punaha, sachidananda rupoham, ahamevaham avyeha. I am untouched by this, because my nature of the reality, consciousness, is unaffected by this apparent plurality. That understanding should be there. Therefore, then I am unaffected while the body mind is getting affected. So body pains will be there. But just because I am a jnani, nothing will happen, nothing will change. So body will have back pain, this pain, that pain, knee pain, every pain will be there. But I don't have a pain. Because if pain really belongs to me, then it will be there all the time. But the pains will not be there when I am in the deep sleep state. Obviously, the body problems are left behind when I go to deep sleep state. That means it doesn't belong to me. The very experience itself tells you that they are not belong to me. Problems in the waking state is not there in the dream, and the problems in the dream are not there in the deep sleep state. Deep sleep state, everybody is happy, because nobody is there other than myself. Therefore, all this daily experience, if I keep thinking, this is all belongs of the drama of the waking world and the drama of the dream world and the drama of deep sleep state. I am beyond these states, and I am asangaha. I am untouched by any of this. So that knowledge can come only if I know who I am, number one, and if I understand that the world is only apparently real but not really real. So next he asked the question about the prarabdha karma and the knowledge. The doubt arises from a student point. Says the prarabdha karma and the knowledge are opposite or of the same. Why doesn't the knowledge does not destroy the prarabdha karma? How can the knowledge will occur when there is a prarabdha karma? So all these questions are being little bit technical here from now on a little bit. So he's going to address that questions in the next few slokas that we take up tomorrow. With this we stop here. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.